Let's admit it, there is a little piece of us that wishes we could be an attorney or even a judge and intimately know the law. CBS's Hot Bench lets us sort of live out that fantasy by documenting their time in the courtroom. I'm Britt Marino, and joining me now on CBS Denver and CBSDenver.com are the judges of the show, Patricia Domingo, Tanya Acker, and Michael Carrero. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, this season of Hot Bench, something to tout here. It's tied for number 3 in daytime TV. I mean, viewers are absolutely fascinated with you guys and the deliberation process. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think you've said it. I think it's the deliberation process that really has, the public's really embraced that. It gives them an ability to get behind the scenes and to get into the minds of judges. And generally, that is so off limits in the courthouse. So I think once people can get a window into things that have been private all along, they're really drawn to it, and they really want to know what it's about. And we offer them 3 separate opinions. We really do bounce ideas off one another. And oftentimes we agree, and oftentimes we don't, which is why we're a hot bench.
It's like mile-high justice, Brett. It's mile-high justice for the mile-high city.
Yeah, and I think the audience gets to see justice achieved right in front of their eyes.
And they like that. It's settled. The cases are settled.
There are so many interesting cases coming up this week. So if I can, I'd love to query each of you really quickly on 3 different cases. Tanya, we'll go first to you. Tell us about that case involving a restaurant owner versus a musician.
This is a really interesting case because it touches upon something that just about everybody encounters, which is the need to make a living. A musician played at a restaurant. He claims he didn't get paid fairly. The restaurant owner claims that he caused a bit of a disturbance, which touches upon another competing dynamic here, people who are trying to run their businesses and live their lives in an appropriate way. So you'll have to see what happens.
Okay.
But it's a fun case.
And Michael, what about the mother and son tug of war?
Yeah, these are difficult cases between relatives, because not only are we concerned about the facts, but the emotional attachment and antagonism that comes along with it is sometimes heightened by virtue of the relationship. Because the first question I would have to ask is, what would motivate a son to sue his mother? And in the case that's coming up on Wednesday, a son is suing his mother for the value of a dog that he left with her when she asked him to leave the house because of his behavior. And we were forced to kind of look not only at the factual explanation for all this, but what was underlying it. And in the final analysis, the mother said, I don't owe my son anything, and I didn't do anything wrong, but I continue to love and care for him. And that's what makes it so poignant and in many ways so difficult for us to decide these cases.
I can see that being very emotional for you guys, for the people involved.
Yes.
Patricia, would you mind telling us about the elderly couple accused of inappropriate behavior? Apparently they sue their handyman?
They had this long time handyman, a younger man, much younger man, nice, handsome man. They were an elderly couple, and their position was that his position was that they were suing him because he rejected their sexual advances. And they were all at a casino or something one night when he went into the room, and he says that the woman was trying to entice him and she wasn't dressed properly. And that's the only reason they're suing him, because he rejected their advances. They're saying, no, his work was subpar and they wanted their money back. So you'll have to see it to figure out whether or not that's a credible defense on his part.
How do you all prepare for an episode, let alone the case?
We get basic facts. We get a complaint, what the cause of action is, breach of contract with some detail, and then we get a response, an answer from the defendant, which, puts in denial for the most part what the plaintiff is alleging. Sometimes we get a counterclaim, but most of what we get we get fresh, right out of the mouths of babes in that courtroom on that day as it's brought out by each of us separately. And that's really where we get the gist of what's going on, and that's what we use to make our decision.
Wow, judges.
The complaint and answer, though, do come in early, and I think that sometimes people are surprised when they show up in court and then they see that we're going to hold them to the story that they prepared before. You know, we get these cases at least a week in advance, so we have a chance to digest them before. And sometimes people still come in and try to wing it, which is always kind of surprising.
And I think what's very interesting is that we have to be prepared for the unexpected in every case.
Isn't that life in general?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
That's true.
Judges, thank you
But
so
we
much.
do it in front of a lot of people.
It's a little different when you have an audience.
Thank
I can
you.
only imagine. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Everybody here in Denver loves you. You can watch Hot Bench weekdays on CBS 4 at 3 o'clock.